to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you again so much for coming. So, we're going to continue with starting to integrate houses, signs, and we're going to add planets, or the sun and moon today. And we're going to, next time we'll probably do Venus and Mars, so we'll just keep plugging along here. And so hopefully you've kind of got the idea of when you see a sign on a house cusp, how that house is that part of your life. Is it love, romance? Is it higher education? Is it how you make money? What does that house signify? And then the sign on that house is going to give you a little bit more description of how to do that, how it's all, what's going to flavor that part of your life. Now and then the planets are going to give you that little bump of energy. Some astrologers think of that as the stage. The house is the stage or the play that you're in. And the sign on that is kind of like the period or the costumes you're wearing and that sort of thing. And then the planet would be the actor and what kind of energy and force he or she brings to that role. So, we're going to start with the sun today. And the sun is, of course, our it's our basic conscious energy. So that's the place to start. So I'm going to bring you down and we'll put you on. Okay, so we left off with a Gemini rising. So we're going to go ahead and move this to a Cancer rising. Remember, I kind of want to talk about different signs so everybody gets a chance to hopefully have their part of the wheel expressed, or something that is more relatable to them. So Cancer rising, of course, that's our very emotional, that's cardinal water. So these people can be kind of dramatic. And if we see the sun in Cancer with also a Cancer rising, so whenever you see that, that's called this person's going to be a double Cancer, and we'll see where their moon, if all three of those, the rising sign, sun, and moon, are all in the same sign, then you got a pretty powerful dose of that kind of energy in the chart. So this would be a double Cancer. So this person could be a little bit of a drama queen, possibly. But let's go ahead, and we did these first two quadrants in the last video. So I'm going to move up to this quadrant. And if we've got the sun there in the 7th house, remember Cancer, so the opposite of Cancer is going to be Capricorn. So 7th house is where we find possibly marriage partners and things like that. So with Cancer there, now, or Capricorn is probably our most serious sign. So this is somebody with their sun in Capricorn and a Cancer rising. So this person is probably going to be very cautious about who they marry. They may marry someone quite a bit older than them, 10 years or so. Or they may wait until their 30s or 40s to get married. That's a friend of mine that's got the Aries on the midheaven. She didn't get married until she was in her 40s, but she picked the right guy. They're happily ever after. So, and you're also going to be looking for a very strong partner. This is also the sign, very loyal. You won't probably have to worry about this one fooling around on you or anything like that. Okay, so then let's just move on up to the 8th house. And if we've got the sun in the 8th house with Aquarius on that house cusp, again, very highly intellectual with the Aquarius, air fixed. So this is the house of sex, death, and other people's money. So these people are going to be interested in life after death experiences. They're also going to, with the sun in there, This is also, along with death, automatically comes rebirth. So with the sun in there, they're probably going to have a lot of, and I'm not going to say they're going to die, near-death experiences, but they are going to have some pretty life-changing events in their lives. Also with the sun in here, other people's money, they can be very lucky with inheritances and things like that also. So this is kind of also a money house. So then now let's move that sun up to the 9th house. And if we have Pisces on that 9th house cusp, here, Pisces is our most mystical type sign, and this is the house of higher education, of higher learning. So this person, maybe, they get a PhD in religion, but they also just might be, several of you people out there, just are fascinated with these sort of mystical subjects and, looking for guidance and more education. This is also with the sun there. I think I've talked about, your spiritual help, your spiritual guides and angels and helpers and stuff, they want to help you. So if somebody is a Pisces on the 9th house, they tend to have a little bit stronger communication and with those angels and guides. And when they ask for help, they're going to get it. So these people are going to be pretty strong when it comes to their moral and ethical positions and such. Now if we take the sun over to the 10th house, to Aries. So this is an Aries 10th house Aries person. So their sun is already in Aries, and we know how that can be pretty independent and willing to work really hard. So Aries up in this, the 10th house is the house of our career. So these people are probably really better off being self-employed. And that's that same friend of mine I was telling you about. She owns her own business. And in fact, Aries on the 10th house can be kind of difficult employees. They can kind of give you a little trouble there, but they do work really hard on their owns and everything. So with the sun, they're just going to have tons of energy for their careers. They're very ambitious. They do want some recognition. This is up at the top of the chart. So sometimes we do see politicians with this configuration. Okay, now let's talk about the moon, and let's shift the chart another time here. So now we're going to look at people that are Leo rising. Okay, let me get the wheel started out here, and we'll talk about how the moon affects these houses. So of course, a Leo rising is a very regal person. When they walk in the room, we notice them. They're really fun. They're very enjoyable to be around. There are a lot of laughs, basically. They can be a little overbearing, though. They can kind of take over things, so watch out for that. So again, like we've talked about, Leo is a fixed sign. So on these 4 angles, we got fixed, 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 fixed. So we got Taurus up here on the midheaven in our career. So just right off the bat, we know that Taurus, being good with money and being in the career house, these folks do tend to be good at financially. They get good, steady money makers, basically. Now, they're also into financial security and stability. But when we put the moon in this sign, in the Taurus sign, it's kind of interesting. We will see that maybe their mother really kind of almost programmed them into the career, or suggested it, like, I think you should become an attorney or a doctor or something like that. So the mother can be kind of dominating in that regard. And any kind of insecurity that a person might have with monies. They don't want to show it because it's up there on the midheaven, but that the moon can kind of show where we do feel a little insecure sometimes. Okay, so now let's move to the 11th house, and Gemini is on that 11th house cusp. So the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius. So in Gemini is an air sign, Aquarius is air. So this is going to be just a super intelligent person. They have, and this is also groups of friends. So these people, and the moon again, this is our emotional nature. This is who we are when we shut the door. So these people tend to maybe don't have so much as best friends as groups of friends. They're going to feel more comfortable in that type of setting. And then actually they don't even like to be alone with moon there in the 11th house. So they are, but with Gemini on that 11th house cusp, they can, and especially with moon in there, they can talk about their emotions. But they can, with Gemini being a mutable sign, these are the people that's like, should I break up with him? Should I, but I love him, but he treats me badly. And, they can talk and talk and talk and talk and vacillate back and forth, back and forth. So just be aware of that. But also with 11th house, Gemini study, they do like to study in groups of people. They just really want to be with other people. Okay, now let's get down to the 12th house. And here we have Cancer on the 12th house cusp. And remember, the 12th house is kind of our house of isolation. So this is, hospitals, jails, the most extreme seclusion type settings. But this is where, now Cancer is rules our home, right? So so if we have Cancer on that 12th house cusp, when we go home, we want to shut the door and have peace and quiet. We may not, this is the only place we really feel comfortable being alone, all right, with that Cancer on the 12th house. So these people, they're not going to, with the moon there, and, Leo rising, Taurus on the midheaven, they're not going to show us when they get hurt. So if someone does hurt their feelings, they're going to wait till they get home and shut the door and burst out into tears at that point. Now, Cancer, this is water, emotions, moon there. This is probably one of our very most psychic placements. So if you meet a Leo rising, they're probably reading you more than you would be comfortable with if you knew how well they can tap into who you are. Okay, so hopefully now you're starting to see how when we have these planets, it's given a little bit more of an emphasis, a little bit more of a description of how these different areas in our life play out. So I think I'm going to stop there. And like I said, next time we'll go over definitely Venus and Mars, and we'll see how far we get. And there's our bell, the clock, so it must be time to go. And basically, I'll just say bye-bye for now. Adieu. Just remember, from here to there, from there to here, funny things are everywhere. Take care. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.